What's up, peeps? I wanted to talk to you guys about something that a lot of people misconstrue about anxious attachment individuals. Um, for all of you who don't know, my name is Ray J. I'm a healing anxious attachment. I'm going through trauma therapy, all that kind of stuff to help me understand why I do and act the way I did. Okay. One of the things that I learned about being an anxious attachment is we do have a core wound from our childhood about abandonment because our caregivers, whether it be our parents, grandparents, somebody who took care of us back when we were younger, um, was very inconsistent with the way that they treated us or the type of affection that they gave us. Some of us have superly anxious mothers or fathers, and then some of us may also have a very dismissive, avoidant um, father or mother, or someone who's very like narcissistic and became a source of our fear that they were going to leave us or they weren't going to be able to take care of us. So when we get to relationships, situationships, friendships, whatever, we have the idea in our brain that we have to earn someone's love in order for them to accept us. So we are going to be going above and beyond to make that relationship work. Even if it hurts us, even if we don't know those boundaries, whatever, we're going to go above and beyond to make that relationship work because our biggest fear is being abandoned and left behind because that's all we've ever known in our lives. Even though it may not be true, this is something that a lot of people misconstrue. They think that we are just super clingy and all that kind of stuff, but really it comes from a core wound of abandonment because we don't know what secure relationships look like. Now that we have that part settled, you know, many people may think that when we are in a relationship that we are just constantly, you know, focusing on us. Okay. We're not constantly focusing on us. What it is that we think so highly of our partner, and whenever our partner is having a bad day, whenever our partner is going through some emotions because we didn't know how to regulate those boundaries and give them space, and our core wound of abandonment, we're always going to ultimately be thinking that we are the reason why they're upset. Anxious attachment individuals, before they start their healing process, will constantly think that they are the issue. They will notice the silence, they will notice the change of tone, they will notice like the energy shift of their partner. On the other side of this, if you are in a relationship with an anxious attached individual and you do not communicate with them that they are not the problem, like for instance, you're just overwhelmed, you are just at a point where you just don't want to deal with anything, you just kind of shut down, you don't want to talk about it, that is where the anxious attached individual might have the thought that it's them. We love communication. If you tell us that we are not the problem, that you just need a moment, you've had a bad day, okay? And if you tell us that you're just going through some emotions, you just need some time to recalibrate what you're feeling, we respect that too because you're communicating it. But if you are that partner that just kind of like shuts down, you don't talk about it, you see us, you take a big sigh when you walk in the door, when we try to greet you and say hello and, how's your day? And you just walk away, that's going to send us mixed signals. So to finish off my video, I believe that coming from an anxious attached individual through the healing process, I did need to learn to respect boundaries. I did need to learn that I should not be always internalizing myself as the problem in a relationship. I need to recognize what healthy communication looks like. I needed to understand that people do need space, just like I need space, okay? But in order to make a relationship work with somebody who's an anxious attached individual who has those abandonment wounds, our healing process basically stems from we need a lot of communication from our partner. It's not a reassurance, it's communication. I was going through the process. I didn't recognize my core wound until later on in my marriage with my husband. So now that I'm recognizing it, now I can see where I need that communication. I was perfectly okay with everything as long as I was communicated with on what was going on. That we're walking through this healing process, that is really what helps an anxious attached individual heal in their process and be a better, more understanding partner, is the communication. 100% communication. Not the ifs, not the maybes, not sometimes. 100%. And if you got that, then you're good.